Hey guys, Sean here. Sorry, it's been a little bit sick, not gonna lie. No worries though, not contagious anymore. But today I'm gonna do a gameplay breakdown from the Gambit Immortals finals. This is the second map, and you guys have already seen me break down a couple rounds from this. One being the round before this round, actually, in my lurking video. I said it was one of the most pivotal rounds of the entire major, and ultimately allowed Gambit to come back and win. The reason why I said that is because they then had the economy to do a lot of the tactics that Zeus had outlined in this game plan, where they were planning on using a lot of utility, hitting the outside bomb site in different ways every round. Um, so yeah, I'm going to show you guys how they did that. All these different outside attacks, and throughout this entire half, they don't actually do a full inner hit until the very last round of the half. So um, just to give you guys kind of my thoughts, that's absolutely crazy, especially for a team like Gambit, who typically does hit the inner bomb site a lot. And if you guys want to see them hit the inner bomb site a lot, you can watch them play Fnatic at this exact major, maybe even in the quarters. I believe they played Fnatic. They didn't have very good of a T half, but they don't do really any of the things they do in this demo. So you can tell they came into this match with a very different game plan than most teams. They tried to use utility to gain ground on the AWPs, namely KNG and Henny, and they do a really, really good job of it throughout this entire game. So let's take a look. Here's the first gun round. Score is 1-2. Kind of a first gun round. Obviously, Immortals can't really get a full buy. This is a rebuy after they lost that Zeus kind of mid-game lurk. But yeah, so Gambit's going to start off with an E-box sandwich smoke, and the strat's going to develop. So what they're doing right now with these two smokes, guys, is they're basically trying to block vision from the CTs. These are very common smokes, probably in the last year or two now in the meta on Train. These smokes are very common, and the reason being is because you can only get vision as a CT from Hell, spotting down Hell, top green Train, spotting over the smoke, as well as into Olaf. You could boost bomb Train and look over towards T mid, or you could play close ladder in like one of these spots. Uh, but pretty much every other angle, unless you're going to run through the sandwich smoke, you're not getting info. So that's why these smokes are so strong, is it eliminates a lot of the options for the CTs, kind of forces them to play 4 outside early until they get that info, leaves the inner a little bit vulnerable. But Gambit's doing this for a different reason. They're trying to keep people away from the close choke points with these smokes. And let's see how they're going to use them now. So the round's going to play out. They're going to actually let these smokes completely fade out, like so. And you can see Stoja actually lining up a very nice Molotov for Sandwich, which might be one of the few nades I'm going to show you guys afterwards. So you can see it blows up on the blue train and bleeds into Sandwich. It's a very strong Molotov. They time running out mid with a flash over the wall. Very, very well timed, by the way. So they kill steal close ladder. The guys in ladder then have the Q to go down ladder after they smoke, they smoked back 6 and they smoked right bomb. Mo smokes mid bomb, runs back towards mid, where if he had an up, and we'll see this later on in the half actually, they do a slight deviation of this strat, which is very unique. And you can see together the guys ladder and mid come out. They pinch the outside bomb site. So really what's happening is these smokes combined with this allow your 2 ladder players to come out and only worry about this lane as well as E-box, but your mid guys come out timed with a flash to clear all of this and even potentially hook a right. Like when you look where Mo is and potentially where Doja would have gone, it would have been to help clear this E-box fight, so that way this trade is in their favor as well. So aggressive CTs get heavily punished on an execute like this. You can see there's a Molly sandwich. There's flashes over the wall timed with mid peaks. So anyone close ladder is going to have a very, very hard time killing people that come out mid, as well as 2 people dropping down ladder together. It basically punishes any early aggression, which is what someone like Immortals would want to do on a buy like this. They want to get that early aggression. They want to get ladder control. They want to be able to stack bomb sites, get close, eliminate distance. Well, Gambit eliminates a lot of those options with this execute. And you can see they basically just start pushing up throughout the yard. Easy plant for Zeus. And the smoke hell, which is another interesting thing about this execute, like I said, there's a molly sandwich. Gambit's hell smoke, well, technically it's considered a back six smoke. And in my opinion, the most important smoke when you hit the outside bomb site, more so than the Z, more so than old bomb or anywhere. This smoke is by far the most important smoke. And the reason being is because typically the bomb is planted, in this area right here, this weird area, whatever you want to call it. Most of the time it's actually on the side of the bomb and not where Zeus planted it, because you don't want to get killed by a guy boosted Z, or a guy up in heaven, or a guy maybe shooting you in the feet from lower part Z. If the smokes fade, your feet can get seen under the train when you plant there. There's so many weird ways to die planting where Zeus or die where Zeus planted just now, that it's often best, and that's why you see it. Teams plant on the side of the bomb train, and because of that, this smoke is the most important smoke when you hit the outside bomb site. And we're gonna see Gambit throw this smoke time and time again throughout this entire half. So just keep that in mind. Smoke also allows Adren to get hell control though, like I said, because it bleeds both sides. It's the perfect smoke. But yeah, so this round wraps up pretty easily for them. So let's go on to the next round. Okay, guys, so here we have the very next gun round, round 6. And you can see Immortal's economy is still hurting. This is a team that typically likes to run 2 AWPs, stuck on 5 rifles. So this is actually their best buy 6 rounds in. Kind of crazy to think about that. This is actually also the strat that I talked about on the entry frag video, where we're going to see Doja and Hobbit run out in tandem of ladder room with a flashbang that comes over mid. But here we're going to look at the bigger picture of this strat and not the micro aspect of the entry frag position. So you can see together they're gathering in ladder room. Adren's waiting T mid. Mo is outside of T-Con right now on the dumpster. He's going to actually throw a smoke over towards Z. So he's going to block off Z with a smoke. Zeus above ladder is going to throw a smoke that goes back 6. The same smoke we just saw in the previous execute. So you can see these two guys running out ladder. Basically both going to hook an immediate right, run along this wall. And they're going to fight people in this lane, or potentially back bomb running through the smoke of Z. Hobbit is solely focused on someone running out the Z smoke back bomb. Doja's there to trade anyone E-box, as well as kill people, in Henny and Lucas's location. And then obviously if Hobbit sees anyone else on his screen, he's going to react to them. This is what I talked about a lot in the entry frag video. But what's important to note from a team aspect is their timings with the nades. This is very coordinated, and something that pretty much any team can learn from is if you want to beat utility on a full buy, so this is a full buy and they're running an early execute, you need to be explosive. You can't sit there and wait for all your utility to pop. You have to be reliant on a couple flashbangs, and you have to be reliant on good pathways. So again, there's the Z smoke, there's the early flash, and immediately with that flash, you see Hobbit turn the corner. He's hugging the ladder wall. Doja's right behind him. And notice how they're not waiting for this smoke that you see right there coming towards back 6. It's on the way, but they're running because they're planning on beating it. And the reason being is because they know if, say there's an op Ivy, right? Well, the op Ivy sees the sandwich smoke. Maybe he hears his teammate call Z smoke on the way. Well, he's probably going to smoke Ivy, or maybe he may focus Ivy. But there's probably like a 2-second window where if they hit it, they can get to this wall. And at that point, this person, Ivy, loses vision of them if they reach a little bit further on the wall than where they are right now. And that's their goal with this, is to be explosive enough to beat something like that. And be well-timed enough where if there's a guy top green train, if there's a guy side bomb, they're going to get that kill. If anyone decides to molly ladder to stop a run out, they're going to die because they're going to have a molly in their hand while these guys are running out. So you can see the strength of doing something like this on a massive buy round like this. So again, they're running out together. Easy kill for Adren actually from mid. So Adren gets that kill on steal from mid. He's running out to meet up with them right now. These guys are running out together. They're about to kill Lucas top green train. The other guy that was top green train, Immortals actually had 2 people there. Kind of weird. Henny drops to hide hell. KNG's stuck in front of his team at sandwich. And then Bolt is rotating out of inner. Yeah, like this round is honestly pretty much over already. And another important aspect of this is Mo, after he throws that, he's basically has sights down all of hell. So a Dren swinging out towards sandwich area can fight, K and G right here. And even if he dies, he has Zeus coming third down ladder to trade that kill, or Mo will have him pinned from the pallet. So all of their angles and bases are covered here. The only thing that's really going to kill them is if they lose an initial battle while running out ladder. If there's a guy maybe Heaven, pretty much anyone that plays like counter smoke or something like that, that could really destroy this strat. There's a lot of things I could probably beat this strat, but you can see that if CTs play anything remotely close to what Immortals did, it's going to be a really good strat to beat them. Okay, so we'll just see how it plays out real quick. It's honestly kind of a slaughter. It ends up being Henny last alive in hell as one of the first, he was one of the first people outside, and he's still alive in hell. So yeah, let's hop on to the next round. Okay, guys, so here's round 8. This is the very next gun round and the first time that Immortals has an op at all. So they actually have 2 of them, one on KNG, one on Henny. And this is a round that kind of ends up crumbling because a pick goes in Immortals' favor. But I actually don't really think it should have happened. I think Gambit actually set up perfectly to stop something like this. And you can tell this is something that they've gone over is when they take map control, this is how we should set up to not get picked from AWPs. And you can see Gambit's positioning, in particular Hobbit's, is very good playing off of Mo right now. So Mo jumps down to basically take this big brown hole, hold the upper pick, and Hobbit's playing anti-flash right now to trade off of him. So Henny, knowing that most teams pre-Molotov upper, throws a smoke in the corner to basically extinguish any molly so that he could pick no matter what. You can see him pushing along the back. And unfortunately, Mo misses the shot. Hobbit swings out wide and actually gets a pretty good fight on Henny. And I think this is a fight that Hobbit wins, 9 times out of 10. Hobbit is an excellent aimer, and that's something I learned a lot just by watching a ton of Gambit recently. This guy's crazy. He's really good. And I think Henny walked away from this very lucky that he got this pick. But you can see what Gambit wanted to do elsewhere on the map was they actually threw, the Z smoke outside, and they sold a fake very similar to the ladder explosion early round. So the other 3 players were doing that, and you can see it drew a smoke molly out of Immortals. They're playing back. They're pretty scared of that same shot happening again. Meanwhile, 2 guys are creeping Ivy without making any noise. So the Ivy guy smokes off Ivy in the same way he did on that prior strat. These guys have used no utility yet, and they have Ivy control. Unfortunately for them, the pick didn't really go in their favor. And we're going to fall into a 2-2 split on A. So you can see right now, Ivy players working up. So something that Gambit does at Ivy that's really good is they actually smoke the end of Ivy right here. Instead of the typical smoke right here, which is their second smoke, they smoke the end so the CTs get no info. They creep to the end, and then when they're ready to go, they use their second smoke on the left side, and they even do fakes off of this too. So it's very hard to get information when you're playing against Gambit, and that's something that's very similar in all of these tactics. Is there's a lot of smokes, a lot of flashes, which deny vision, even if they're not doing something. So they're coming out Ivy. These guys are coming mid, and the mid guys are kind of waiting for contact right now. And once the Ivy guys come to the end, you see the smokes or the molly sandwich. 2 guys exit Ivy, but the round is kind of lost because they just don't have the manpower to deal with this 4 outside setup that they're running into right here. So yeah, let's go on to the next round now. Okay, guys, so here we have round 9. And this round is very unique because we're actually going to see how Gambit reacts to getting a pick off of their default. So unlike last round, there's going to be brown hole aggression from upper, and this time Hobbit actually kills the guy. So let's see what happens here, and I'll explain how everything that transpires and why it does. So you see Kenny's upping lower, and Bolts is ready to swing upper on his contact. Hobbit's taking brown hole, and he's actually flashing lower for himself. He gets Henny to shoot, and he tunnel visions on upper. So really smart play by Hobbit. He doesn't get tunnel visioned on the lower guy, even though he heard the op, he's aware enough to hold upper still and kills bolts when he swings. And you can see right now, it's a very similar setup early round, with the only difference being that Mo didn't drop and post upper. Instead, Hobbit kind of just took Brown Hall by himself. We have Doja and Zeus getting Ivy control, Adren holding T mid, and Mo's just holding ladder for the time being. So typically when you get a kill inner, right? And this is something Gambit is really, really good at, what I'm about to say. So you get a kill inner, you know that there's the rotator that's then left in the inner bomb site. You know that there were 3 people in the outside bomb site, but one could rotate inner, depending on how the inner person communicates, as well as what the CT's philosophy is on, how they should rotate and things like that. So, um, obviously there are 3 entrances on the outside bomb site: Ivy, mid, ladder. Through Ivy, you can go left side, you can go right side towards backlanes. From mid, you can go out mid towards Speedway, you can go down Olaf, and you can obviously just come out ladder. So there's a lot of things for 3 CTs to worry about. That's why it's very hard to leave 2 CTs outside. Pretty much one of the only ways to do that is if you get ladder or T mid control, or if you're trying to just play retake or something like that, and you leave an off back old bomb, say like posted back old bomb, and then you leave a guy hell, and you just hope for the best, some kind of weird thing like that, or boost a guy Z, play like really distance angles where you think you can get the first kill and live. But most teams choose not to do that. They actually leave 2 people outside and a third guy a little bit flex towards inner. So what we're going to see Gambit do now is they're going to throw a fake outside to make sure that 3 people stay outside while simultaneously hitting inner. And this is something that very, very good teams tactically do a lot of in man-up situations. So we're going to see Doja and Zeus working Ivy. See, they throw that same smoke at the end. It denies all vision, which is so annoying when you're a man down that you can't get any information. Zeus running back. Goes inner with the bomb. And then right now we see a late E-box sandwich smoke. So again, more denial of information, right? So these smokes, again, deny information from a lot of different angles, and that's their goal with them. And you can see Doja also followed up his Ivy smoke, Zeus's Ivy smoke, with his own in the same way as the round before. A lot of similarities carrying over from round to round, a lot of the same utility being used, which is very confusing if you're a CT player. A lot of different looks using the same exact smokes. So these guys actually commit out mid. You can see, again, Adren runs out with a flashbang. There's the same Molly sandwich. Takes this fight with Steel, who he actually flushes out, so he can get a good one-on-one. This is a very favorable one-on-one to get in a situation like this. So he knows if he times his peak properly with this E-box and sandwich smoke, combined with this Molly, he runs out to this train, and really the only things that can kill him is this angle right here, next to the box ladder, or maybe even a guy in ladder, since Zeus didn't technically fully clear it, he just flashed and mollied it. So there's not much that can kill Adren, so he can single out these angles one-on-one. So he gets this decent fight against Steel. He dies, but you can see the positioning of Mo by the pallet in T mid is in a very good position to trade. And this further sells the fake. This is the one guy that has information that you just killed. And you have a guy working up Ivy right now. And Lucas knows that he's working up Ivy because he just threw this smoke Molly. You can see the Molly in the smoke right now in the corner of the screen. So Doja's working up Ivy. And it's actually crazy to me that Henny's still in the inner bomb site. It's a great read by him to still be here. He never once even thought about leaving. He's kind of just patrolling the back lanes this entire time. And you can see right now, he's still at inner. Even with, the 2 guys mid, he knows the guy's Ivy. And it might be because KNG had eyes on ladder the whole time. Maybe. But the round prior, the hit looked very similar to this. And Immortals bid on it in a very different way, Could just be because they didn't see the bomb. But it was a very good play by Henny not to rotate. And ultimately, it's what's going to save them this round. So Doja's going to die actually in a really unfortunate way right now, too. So they have the 4-on-3 advantage. And, KNG just hits a really nice shot on him. There's not much you can do there. But still, this is honestly a pretty winnable scenario until Henny takes over the round. You know, Henny's patrolling the back lanes, and then he works up, and I believe he kills Zeus. Yeah. So, really good play by Henny to win that round. But I think tactically, Gambit outplayed Immortals that entire round, and everything they did was strategically sound. It's just, you know, sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes the other team hits shots and they outplay you. And that's kind of just what happened in that round. So let's see the next round now. Okay, guys, so here's the next gun round. And here we're going to see something that looks very similar to the first gun round we watched. Remember with the 2 left side bomb smokes and the smoke back 6? Take a look though at the timings and how they're different. And I'll talk about them as they happen. But you'll see there's definitely a difference. And it's by no mistake. You know, teams like Gambit, they'll throw off their timings on executes like this and have people going at different speeds because they know a team like Immortals is going to be aware. Last time they threw these smokes, you know, they came out at this time and that time, and they used this utility and that. So watch how the mid guys come out this time. So again, early E-box sandwich smoke to deny vision. There's the Molly sandwich, and there's the smoke Z. Flash over. I'm sorry, smoke mid bomb. Flash over, and with it, Adren and Doja are out mid. Now this is very different than the time before where the mid guys didn't even go out until the E-box and sandwich smokes were already gone. Now this could be because they know that Immortals is running a double op setup and they want to get behind this sandwich smoke and, you know, close ground on them. If I had to guess, that's probably why. But take a look at how the timings work from here on out because it gets pretty cool. So there's the smoke for right bomb. And you can see the sandwich smoke is starting to fade. Adren jumps to the sandwich ladder really quick. Tosses a jiggle peek towards Hell, actually, which is where KNG is holding. Kind of crazy awareness by him. So, and then as it fades, both Doja and Adren are both peeking back Ivy side right now onto poor old Lucas, who's just, you know, I'm just playing Ivy. Just an Ivy player. Don't mind me. And he's dead. And the 2 guys ladder drop. As the back 6 smoke is coming over the wall, same thing as, you know, prior strats, it's immediately a 3-on-5 right now. So Henny gets a nice kill right there on Adren from heaven, and Doja rushes KNG with the bomb. Probably not the best idea, but he probably felt a little bit cornered when he saw Adren die right there. Luckily for him, Mo's in a really good spot to trade, like always. So Mo goes top blue train, pins KNG in hell, gets the trade there. Zeus gets the kill on Henny, and again, the round is pretty much won from then on out. So just a slight deviation of that first gun round strat, and they actually have more deviations if we look on to the next round. So let's go on. Okay, so here we're gonna have another strat we've already seen before, but just run at different timings. And again, this doesn't really work out too well for them. And this is why I said initially that that second round that Zeus won in the lurk video was super important, because I don't think this ladder runout strat is a very good idea, given the fact that you know Immortals likes to double op. That's why they chose a very good round to run it. The second time, you'll see what happens when they run it on a double op setup. Obviously, the timings are a little bit different, but same thing holds. So a very early Molotov actually by Immortals to ladder room. They get a little bit spooked. There's the smoke to Z and the flash over. And you can see the timings aren't as good as the previous version with Hobbit running out, but it's pretty close. So these guys actually swing out wider too than the previous version. They run out towards the E-box and then they stop. Now I do think if Doja and Zeus both hugged the wall in the same way that Doja and Hobbit did the first time around, they get this kill on KNG. They will get this kill. I'm not sure if they would go 1-for-1 or if KNG would just not even kill either of them. Maybe Steel sprays them through the smoke from CT Hell at that point, but they definitely get that kill, and the whole round would play out way differently at that point. But they don't, and that's the key thing to note. You know, is once they allow KNG to reposition while blind and get another shot, the round's over. You miss your opportunity for the trade, and that's why the importance of an entry fragger using utility correctly with pathways is super important, because you can see this round how it fell apart. It was the same exact strat, but the pathway was very, very slightly different. And you can see the round just doesn't work the same way. Okay, guys, so here's Gambit's last outside round, and what we're gonna see is the standard wall of smokes, the 3 bomb train smokes, the sandwich smoke, and the back 6 smoke. Now, this is really unique because most teams don't throw the back 6 smoke. And what this allows Gambit to do is to get hell control on a strat where typically it's very easy to get a plant. So why this is important is post-plant situations end up being very difficult when you do something like this because you're using all of your smokes right away. You have to use flashes, probably going to use a Molotov too. So you can't really run a default before doing a tactic like this. You kind of have to go into it right away. And what that means is that the CTs probably have a lot of utility themselves. So ending up getting a bomb down and having 2 guys in ladder room and 1 guy NT mid, it's not good enough. Probably the CTs are just going to use their utility, smoke you off ladder, could drop a molly mid, tap the bomb. You're kind of forced to run out and see if they're on the bomb. Easy kills for them. So because of that, having a guy that can get into hell is a totally different look, and it could really affect a round. And we're going to see how Gambit does this wall smoke trick right now. Let's just hop right into it. So early round, Doja literally just runs over to Ivy, throws a flash, then runs all the way back. Maybe trying to keep a guy there, just show a little bit of presence. It's about all he can do. So they're lining up for the smokes, and here they come. So again, the 4 smokes outside that everyone typically throws, and then the smoke back 6 on the way. And you can see the flashes coming over as well. So we have a couple flashes coming over mid, and then we have a Dren coming out with that flash. We have a molly coming towards camera, and once the mid guys come out, the 2 guys ladder come down, and they're ready to swing out ladder. And a very important aspect to note about this shot as well is the bomb should always be ladder. If the bomb's in mid, it's a mistake on the team's part because the pathway for the bomb coming out ladder is much safer. You're going to have to fight this guy coming out mid no matter what, but what you're safe from coming out ladder is this guy playing in the heaven. This guy playing in the heaven can only see you if you run wide, so if you hug the wall, you can avoid him. You also avoid people one-waying over the bomb train smoke this way and looking this way. There's a lot of weird deaths that you could avoid. Whereas if you're running out mid, people boosted here will definitely kill you without a trade. And people in heaven can have a very clear fight on you, and you'd also die without a trade. So very favorable to have the bomb go ladder on a wall of smoke strat outside. And you can see Adren is going to push through Speedway, into Sandwich, and then into Hell. And he knows this is safe for the most part, unless there was a guy hiding in that corner, because Mo literally just killed this guy. So Mo's job is to post Hell the entire time once the flashbangs pop. So flashes pop, he takes the angle, Henny actually peeks into him, and Mo gets an easy kill on him. Adren, who then goes up mid, cuts through Sandwich, and gets Hell control. Doja swings out to help his teammates come out ladder and fight the guy E-Box. You can see he just got that kill on Steel. And the 2 guys coming out ladder, their goal is to obviously get the bomb down, and then Hobbit, protect the planter, and then hold the flank. So their roles are very defined in a tactic like this. But in my opinion, Adren's is the most unique because he gets Hell control. He actually dies in a super tilting way. I'm sure he's probably pretty upset with it when he died because obviously he didn't know at the time how the round was going to play out. So I'm just going to show you guys this. The round's obviously kind of close to over right now, but when so Opper just runs through the smoke and headshots him. It even happens to the pros, guys, in the major finals. So he obviously can't really do much about that, but he has a teammate in a great spot to trade, and Mo gets the trade kill, and now the round is literally over immediately. So before the smokes even dissipate, 4 kills going Gambit's way because of utility and spacing and way they enter areas, and the round's over. So yeah, that's actually all of the outside rounds. The very next round, they actually do an inner execute, and it loses because for some reason Immortals stack the inner site early round. They have 2 guys there. But I just want to show you guys how Gambit used utility throughout this match. You can see they had a clear game plan to go at the Oppers, get close on them in the outside train yard, They saw a weakness, they took advantage of it. So hats off to Zeus and Gambit for basically pulling together one of the sickest T-side trains at the major, in my opinion. Um, yeah, if it wasn't for that eco round, this would have been way more lopsided. The eco round we watched where they went Ivy. Obviously, if Gambit lost the second round, it could have been lopsided in Immortal's favor because a lot of the rounds they had double ops. Honestly, things didn't go too well for Gambit on those rounds most of the time. So it would have been interesting to see what happened if both those rounds went the other way. I don't know. Maybe in another universe. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.